Om Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Today we are going to discuss the topic, the way to inner peace. I'll share some ideas with you. Everybody is seeking peace and happiness. We humans belong to, we have different race, different religion, different color, different culture, different position in society, different economic status, but everybody has got one thing common. Everybody is seeking happiness. We think that if we get a lot of material goods, comforts, we'll be happy. So we try to get that, but it's only temporary happiness. It disappears quickly. Like the example they give is a drop of water on a red hot pan. Within a second, it just disappears. The happiness that we get from the material things are like that. Why is that? That the happiness is so temporary, disappears? Because we don't have any peace. There is no inner peace. Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita throws a challenge to us. Ashantasya kutas sukham. The person without peace, how can he or she have happiness? So the basic ingredient to have happiness is to have peace. Without peace, we cannot have happiness. Only if we have a calm, serene mind, then we can hope for happiness. Otherwise, no. We may get a little bit of happiness for a very short time, but it disappears. And so how are we to get this inner peace? Where do we seek for inner peace? It is hidden within us. We seek everywhere else. We look outside. But the peace is in our own self, the Atman. Atman or Brahman we describe as Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, or truth, wisdom, peace. It's within us. But we are looking for that peace outside. We are looking everywhere else, except within us. We look in all other places. We have to turn away from the sense pleasures and look within, deep within us. Then we will be able to find out. But we are like the fabled musk deer. They say the musk deer gets the strong fragrance of the musk. And it goes all over, runs around, trying to find out the source of that fragrance. It doesn't know that the fragrance is coming from its navel. It's within, it's there. We are like that musk deer. We run around looking for peace everywhere. And naturally we fail because we are looking in the wrong place. Meister Eckhardt says, people look in vain places for peace. They seek it in the world outside, in places, people, ways, activities. But there is no peace found this way. They are looking in the wrong direction. And the longer they look, the less they find what they're looking for. We are looking in the wrong direction. And the mystic says, the longer we look, there is less chance of us finding peace. According to Swami Vivekananda, the book from which one is to learn religion is one's own mind. So we have to, if you want to learn religion, if you want to learn about peace, happiness, you have to read our own mind. But there is one problem. The the mind and the sense organs are always turned outwards. Well, it's not our problem. We didn't create it's a what's a constitute it's a problem or difficulty with our whole system. The Katha Upanishad says, Paranjikhani Vitranat Swayambhus Tasmat Parang Pashyati Nandaratman. The self-existent Lord created the sense organs, including the mind, with the defect of an outgoing disposition. Therefore, man perceives things outwardly, but not the inward self. So it's not actually our fault, we can say, because we like to put the blame on other people. Whatever mistakes we do, we say it's not my fault. So we say it's not our fault. We are created like this, with the mind, the sense organs, mind, everything turned outwards. So we are not seeing anything, we are not looking within. All of them are outgoing. So we get the impressions, experiences from the outside world, external world, not of the inner world. When this outgoing tendency is consciously checked or limited to a certain extent and turned inward, then we rise to the ethical level. And the Upanishad calls such a person the wise one. The wise one, who is the wise one? Not with a lot of academic degrees, no. Swami Vivekananda says, the person has just read the books, intellectual fools. The wise one is a person who can distinguish between the lower mind, which is completely concerned with the external world, physical world, and the higher mind, which strives for life fulfillment in spiritual emancipation. That's the higher mind. If we can distinguish between this, the lower mind and the higher mind, then we are a wise person. So what does a wise person do? Turn the senses, including the mind, inward. Kaschit tira pratyagatmanam aikshat. Avrata chakshur amrudattam. Desiring immortality, the wise person turn the senses, including the mind, inward and realize the self. That's what we have to do if you want to get some control over the mind. The senses reveal only the external world, and they reveal only very little of the reality. We cannot even say the tip of the iceberg, little less than that. But we get so excited, though happy, surprised. Oh, the wonder of the universe. But as one goes deeper within, more inward, we realize the limitations imposed by the senses and the mind. The seeker after truth turns the attention to concentrating the mind. And when the concentrated mind is turned on anything, that lights up. It's like the concentrated beam of light. You turn on any object, the object lights up. The concentrated mind is like that. Our mind has got different states or manifest in different ways. The one is the scattered state of mind, scattering all over the world. Sitting here, but the mind is running all over the world. Activity, full of activity. And it manifests in the form of pain and pleasure. Activity means some things will give you pleasure, some other things will give you pain. Then there is the darkening form of the mind. It's dull and tends to injure others, tends to injure you. Then the gathering form of the mind, when the mind is in this gathering form, the mind struggles to center itself. Then there is a one-pointed form when it tries to concentrate itself. And the concentrated form of the mind leads one straight to the state of samadhi, union with God. The mind also has got three other states depending upon the three gunas. When the mind is in the state of overpowered by tamas, inertia, it only acts to injure. Sometimes there are people, for no reason, they like to harm others. Not getting any, just harming others, they get pleasure out of that, some strange pleasure. So they are under control of tamas. The mind is under the control of tamas. When it is in the state of rajas, the motive is power and enjoyment. Want to have power, want to enjoy, so engage in activities, constantly active, restless. In the state of sattva, the mind is calm and serene. But when the mind is calm and serene, we can see the person is quite very gentle, calm. Often we mistake it as dullness, laziness. The person is quite calm, sitting quietly, and we say, oh, lazy, don't want to do anything. Because extremes look alike, two extremes. The state of extreme inertia, where you don't want to do anything at all, and the extreme calmness, they look alike. But it is full of activity, their action, full of energy. Swami Vivekananda says, it's the greatest manifestation of power to be calm. You may find it strange. Swamiji, according to Swamiji, to be calm is the greatest manifestation of power. Only the person who has got full control over the mind and the senses can be calm. We get disturbed because we don't have control over our senses and our mind. The greatest manifestation of power is to be calm. Then Swamiji continues, it's easy to be active. Let the reins go and the horses will run away with you. We are leaving the reins loose, the horses will go, taking with you along with them. Anyone can do that. But he who can stop the plunging horses is a strong man. To control the horses, it needs strength. Let go the rein and let the horses run its whatever, wherever they want to. It's easy for anybody can do that. Which requires greater strength, letting go or restraining. The calm man is the one who has control over the mind waves. The calm person has got full control over the mind. Activity is the manifestation of inferior strength, calmness of the superior. We got the wrong idea. We think that active, you are very active. It shows you have got a lot of strength. No. Swamiji says, activity is the manifestation of inferior strength. Of course, your strength is there, but it is inferior strength. Calmness of the superior. Another example they give is, we get upset, angry, we immediately give a blow. It's a thing that we are showing our strength. Well, I got the power to give you a blow, but I withhold my hand, which needs greater strength. You have got control over my mind and senses, so I withhold. I know I can give you a good blow, but I withhold. That's great manifestation of greater strength. And when this concentrated mind turns within and turns within within the self is revealed. The self which is same as truth, wisdom, and peace. So when the concentrated mind turns within, we see that we attain that peace. And concentration becomes easier when the mind is purer. To make the mind pure, we have to consciously make an effort to get rid of all the negative feelings. Anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, greed, finding fault with others. They are all negative feelings which cloud our mind. It's a long list. We have to get rid of them if we want to make our mind pure. You all know the last advice that Holy Mother gave. If you want peace of mind, don't find fault with others. Rather, look at your own fault. Is there other people have got fault? Yes, they have got fault. But looking at their fault, we are filling our mind with negative ideas. And the longer we keep them, our mind gets clouded. Our mind gets more and more darkened. And they will go on increasing if it is unchecked. And another thing, we will see only what we have got within. If we see some fault in a person, that means we have got that fault within us. If you don't have that fault, if you don't have that idea within us, we won't be seeing that. Whether it is fault or even the good qualities. Why is that we are not able to see the good qualities in other people? Because we don't have those good qualities within us. We see, as according to Swami Vivekananda, we see in the external world what we have within us. So looking at the fault of others, it goes on increasing. So we have to nip it in the bud. As soon as the negative ideas come within, we have to stop it. Rather, we should look at our own fault, try to remove them. What are my faults? Have a good self-analysis. What are my faults? What are my shortcomings? Think about it, try to find out and make a firm resolution to get rid of them. It's not easy that we will be able to get rid of all the faults. We all have a lot of faults. But concentrate on one and try to overcome that, or at least reduce the strength of that fault, intensity of that, and slowly go to another one. But that's only the negative side of making the mind pure. Is removing the faults, finding our own fault, trying to get rid of that instead of seeing the other people's fault. That's the negative side. There's a positive side also. That is cultivating certain virtues. Patanjali in the Yoga Sutra says, Maitri Karuna Mudito Pekshanam Sukha Dukha Punya Punya Vishayanam Bhavanatas Chitta Prasadanam. Undisturbed calmness of mind is attained by cultivating friendliness towards the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and indifference towards the wicked. So this is Patanjali's prescription for calmness of mind. By cultivating friendliness towards the happy. Those people who are happy, be friendly with them. What happens with us? If somebody is really happy, they don't have much problems, we feel jealous. We may not express it, but deep within us, we feel jealous or we envy them. Why should they have all good things? Why not us? No, that who is going to suffer? Not those people, but we ourselves will be suffering. Because we are brooding over these negative ideas and they go on increasing. The more we think about it, the more they become stronger and stronger and will eat into our system. We are the losers. So cultivate friendliness towards the happy. When other people are happy, be happy. We will raise ourselves by being happy. Then compassion towards the unhappy. When somebody is suffering, feel compassion, feel sympathy. But often in the society, what happens? Instead of we judge the person harshly. Well, he or she deserved it. or they brought it on themselves. They should not have behaved like that. I have told them, I have given them warning. They didn't listen to me. We always try to find fault with them. Try to understand, give them, feel sympathy for them. Who knows? We may be in this position sometime. In the reading for the Taoism is one reading. A man made a big loss in the business. So he told his son not to tell anybody. Lost a lot of money, not to tell anybody. So the son asked, why? What is the harm in if I tell anybody? Then the father said, we lost the money. That is one misfortune. And hearing about our misfortune, other people will be happy. That's double misfortune for us, which is that what happens in society. So instead of feeling happy at other people's misfortune, we should feel sympathy. We should feel compassion for them and try to relieve their suffering. We see that in Swami Vivekananda's ideas. In his lecture in Madras, the title, My Plan of Campaign, he says, the so-called patriots, the so-called reformers, because the young people, they wanted to reform the society. And he was telling them, do you feel that millions and millions of the descendants of gods and sages have become next door neighbors to brutes? Do you feel that millions are starving today and millions have been starving for ages? Do you feel that ignorance has come over the land like a dark cloud? Does it make you restless? Does it make you sleepless? Then, he says, then you are a patriot. Feel for others. That's what, then we will have peace. We will have calmness of mind, and that will lead to peace. We have to feel sympathetic for others. Another incident from Swamiji's life we can see. Swamiji was staying in Calcutta in the Balaram Mandir, house of Balaram. And Swami Turiyananda went to see him. He went upstairs where Swamiji was, found that Swamiji is walking on the small veranda outside, balcony outside. And then Swami Turiyananda stood at the door and watched him. Suddenly, then he saw Swamiji kept his hands on the balcony, on the parapet, and started sobbing. Before that, he was humming a song of Meera, which says, nobody understands my pain. And then he started sobbing. And Swami Turiyananda got surprised, was wondering, what is he? Why is he weeping? For whom? Suddenly it flashed. He's weeping for the suffering of the whole humanity, just like Buddha. The whole humanity is suffering, he is feeling. That's what Swamiji says. Do you feel? Feel for them. Feel sympathetic. Then another one is cultivating friendliness towards happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous. There are people who are virtuous. Take delight in their virtue. But what happens instead, usually with us, is we feel irritated because their virtue points our shortcomings. Because of the virtue, you can clearly see our shortcomings, our failings, and we feel irritated with them. And then we'll say, oh, they're showing off. They're good, such a good person, showing off. We feel irritated. Instead of feeling jealous or indifferent, take delight, yes, and try to follow their ideas and see what we can learn from them. And then comes indifference towards the wicked. Towards the wicked, be indifferent. Instead of feeling hatred towards the wicked, be indifferent towards them. We can ignore them. We can or disapprove the vicious behavior, but don't hate the person. Rather try to understand why he or she behaved in that way or acted in that way. There must be some reason. Try to understand. We say, hate the sin, not the sinner. It is very hard to practice. We cannot separate the sin from the sinner. We always identify. Just as we identify ourselves with the body, we identify the person with the act. As here we have said many times, your child does something, then we say, you stupid thing, you did that again. Instead of saying, that was a stupid action. That action is stupid, not that you are not stupid, but that's what we often say. The same way, distinguish, hate the sin, not the sinner. And if you try to understand why that person is behaving, sometimes you find that we have a small role in that. Maybe very little, but still we have a role in that action of that person. In our daily life, what do we do? When somebody does an evil, we immediately want to react. Showing with evil, we want to say, we pay back, or put the person in his place or her place. Show who we are, all boosting our ego. Don't you know who I am? In the 16th chapter, Sri Krishna describes the characteristic of the person of demonic nature. He says, such a person will say, I have so much wealth, I have destroyed so many people, I'll destroy these people, I'll get rid of them all and get all their wealth. We see that in the world all the time. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example. Suppose a thief stole 10 rupees from that person. Catch hold of the thief, give a good thrashing, and then hand over to the police. What? Don't you know who I am? And how dare you steal my 10 rupees? All our ego. But what does it show? We don't have any control over our mind or our reaction. Because we don't have any control over the mind, we go on this. We say an eye for an eye. Mahatma Gandhi says an eye for an eye leaves both you leave you blind. That's all. Swami Vivekananda says, every reaction in the form of hatred or evil is so much loss to the mind. We think we are showing our strength. As we said earlier, Swamiji said earlier, controlling the mind, checking his strength, not letting it go. So he says here, every reaction in the form of hatred or evil is so much loss to the mind. And every evil thought or deed of hatred or any thought of reaction, if it is controlled, will be laid out in our favor. If it is controlled, then it will be in our favor. It is not that we lose by thus restraining ourselves. We are gaining infinitely more than we suspect. But that's a trouble with us. We think that reacting is the show of strength. No, withholding is a show of strength. Controlling is a show of strength. And that's a real strength. It is not that we lose by thus restraining ourselves. We are gaining infinitely more than we suspect. Each time we suppress hatred or a feeling of anger, it is so much good energy stored up in our favor. That piece of energy will be converted into higher powers. Every time we control our reaction, restrain our reaction, so much good energy is stored up in our favor. And later it will be converted to higher powers. Just for example, take anger. What is anger? Anger is a sure sign of our inner weakness, instability, fear, lack of self-confidence. The more we speak about bullies, schoolyard bullies, bullies in the office, who are they? Maybe people with inferiority complex, with some mental issues. Those who are themselves have been bullied, they become bullies. They don't have self-confidence. They have no, the lack of stability. Children who are sent from one home to one foster home to another foster home, they turn out to be bullies or doing all wrong things. There's no stability. They want, as a child, we want stable home, household to care for you. And we lose more energy when we become angry. When just take the a common term that we use. What do you first say? I'm getting angry. So I'm different from anger. I am getting angry. Then after some time, what do you say? I am angry. I have become one with anger. And we lose all energy. And greater the loss of energy, the quicker we get angry. And we get angrier. And then we lose more energy. It goes on and on. It's a vicious cycle. That is why Swamiji says, every reaction in the form of hatred or evil is so much lost to the mind. In our daily life, we can see the truth of this. If we can control our reaction and not get angry or do evil in return, after what happens after some time? The offending party realizes that we are the winners. There is one incident in the life of Buddha, they say. One day, somebody was insulting him. A lot of abuses. He stood there calmly listening to everything. A third person who was there, present, afterwards asked him, Buddha, how could he withstand all those abuses? He gave so much, insulted you so much. How could you stand there so calmly, quietly? Then Buddha said, suppose I give you something and you refuse to take it. What happens to the thing? Well, it remains in your hand. Well, he gave all the insults, all the abuses. I refused to take. So what happened? All that remained with him. That's what we have to practice. If we keep quiet, if we remain calm, all those abuses, the insults, all those evil deeds are remaining with that person. Then slowly that person will realize that we are the winners. We gain. And then that person may slowly change or stop that behavior or change the behavior. There's one incident in the life of Saint Namadeva, a saint from Maharashtra. Some people who are jealous of him got a ruffian, asked this ruffian to spit on Namadeva. When Namadeva went to the river to take his bath, he went and took his bath, came out and was walking back to his home when this man spat on him. So he went back to the river, had another dip, came back. He again spat. He again quietly didn't say anything, went back to the river, had a dip again, and then came back. This happened 108 times, not just 1 or 2 times. 108th time, again he went back, took his dip and came out. This man fell at his feet and asked for his pardon. Said, these people gave me money to harass you. Please forgive me, you are a great soul. He said, but you gave me such an opportunity to take 108 dips in this river, this holy river. Otherwise, I would have taken just 1 dip. See how a person who has got full control over their senses and mind can turn the evil to look at the good side. And what happens? The evildoer realizes his mistake and asks for pardon. But this is not for people who are in the world. We cannot allow somebody to come and take away our property, harm our people, family. No, we have to protect them. There's a difference between practicing ahimsa, non-violence, and cowardice. If you don't do anything, so such a powerful person is coming to harm you, you are showing cowardice. You have to protect your family. You have to protect your wealth. Sri Ramakrishna says, hiss, don't bite. Those who have read the gospel knows the story of the holy man and a snake. The snake was harmed by the children, and then the holy man said, why didn't you hiss at them? I told you not to bite, not to put your venom in them. But why didn't you hiss at them? Show your strength. Threaten them that you can retaliate. Show your strength. That's what people who live in the world should have. This complete non-violence is only for ascetics. People who live in the world, they are non-violence. They have to show strength. But don't harm the other person expecting that they're going to harm you. No, when they're trying to harm you, stop them. Protect yourself. Self-defense. No, not harming them for the sake of harming. No, don't do that. Practicing these virtues of friendliness, etc., would make our mind calm. So what are they? Friendliness towards the happy, compassion for the unhappy, joy for those who are virtuous, and indifference towards the wicked. If you can practice them, our mind will be calm. And then if the mind is calm, then we will be able to enjoy the peace and serenity in the external world. Because we see the reflection of our mind in the external world. We don't see anything. If we see wickedness outside, that means there is wickedness within. Even a small amount is there, otherwise we won't see that. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna gives he has given many ideas how to gain peace. One is Ragadvesha Viyuktestu Vishyan Indriyecharan Atma Vaishyer Vidhayatma Prasadam Adhigachati. The disciplined yogi, one who has controlled his passions and desires, even when moving among objects, but with senses under control and free from attraction and aversion, gains tranquility and peace. The disciplined yogi, the yogi who has control his passions and desires. Let us look at one by one. The mind is always disturbed because of the desire. If you don't have desires, the mind will be calm. They say the mind enjoys peace when one desire is fulfilled and the other desire, the next desire hasn't started. The small gap between two desires is the peace, the time of peace that we enjoy. But with most of us, as soon as one desire is fulfilled, even before it is fulfilled, the next one is ready to push forward. But if the passions and desires are under control, then we will be enjoying peace. Even when moving among objects, not that go away to the forest, so there is nothing to disturb your mind. But that's not a real state of peace, because the moment you come to the world, you're disturbed. So even when moving among objects, we have to be having that peace. Sri Ramakrishna says, live in the world like the mudfish. The mudfish lives in the mud, but its skin is not tainted by mud. Or like the lotus leaf. Lotus leaf in the water. Rainwater falls on it, but the water just rolls off. The leaf remains dry, it doesn't get wet. So live in the world. They are not asking you to go away from the world. Live in the world, in the midst of everything. Enjoying the things of the world. But don't let the world into your mind. We say, let the boat be in the water. No harm. But if the water gets into the boat, there is trouble. So we live in the world, but don't let the world occupy our mind, full attention. Then, free from attraction and aversion. Attraction and aversion. We like some things that we like, we feel attracted. Some things we don't like, we feel aversion towards that. But things in themselves, they're neutral. The things that I like now, I may not like after some time. In another state of mind, another state of my body, I may not like those things. So things are changing. My liking and dislike is all changing all the time. It's in that particular thing? No, things by themselves are neutral. It is our mind which is giving the attraction or aversion. We are attracted to things we like, aversion towards things we don't like, people we don't like, but both are attachment. Both attraction and aversion, both are attachment. But if we can have the idea that everything happens by the will of God, everything happens by the will of God for our good. And we are just playing our part in this cosmic drama. Then we will have peace. We will be more peaceful. Even when things go wrong, even when things go against our plan, against our wishes, if we can hold on to the idea that God wanted this to happen against my will for my good, then we will have peace. Why are we in this world? This world is a moral gymnasium to train us to become stronger, more compassionate. Generally, what happens with us is we are too self-conscious. Too conscious of our state of mind. My mind is happy, my mind is disturbed. Anything little happens, we have slight change, the temperature, rain, heat. Somebody looked at me, just stared at me. Oh, why did the person stare at me? What did I do? Simple things. That's enough because we are so self-conscious, conscious of our body, mind. So much self-conscious we are that any slight thing can throw us off balance. But we can be calmer if we worry less about ourselves. And worrying less means if we become unselfish. Think about others. Look at other people's problem. A little thing, I got a little headache. Oh, I got such a headache. Make a big show. Tell the whole world I got a headache. Look at some other people who is having so much of suffering. They're going through their suffering quietly. If you think at other people, then we realize their suffering is maybe much greater than ours. Ours is nothing compared to what they are going through. Then we won't be so restless. And another thing that to remember is, sense impressions just keep coming from the external world, outside world. Don't we have any control what impressions come into us? We can control. Why should we allow somebody to take charge of our mind? But that's what usually happens. Somebody sitting somewhere makes an advertisement and show the advertisement again and again in the newspaper, in the media, on the television, on the phone, and that influences us. Why should that be so? We should be able to control what impressions come into our mind. We should be the master of our mind. Don't give our mind to somebody else to control. Some stranger is going to control our mind. No, don't allow that. For that, we have to be alert and aware. That's the two terms that Imitation of Christ uses all often. Alertness, we have to cultivate alertness and awareness. We must be alert. You must be aware of what comes in and be alert, whether it is good or bad impressions coming in. Then we can control the impressions that come in. Then a few other means to have peace is, in general, we say, start the day spending time, a short time at least, in the presence of God. Having an appointment with God. Can be a prayer, a short meditation, or reading something. You are in the presence of God. And try to have that prayer or that elevating thought or the idea that you read. Try to remember a few times during the day. Then we will have the idea that with God's help, I'll be able to meet the challenges of the day. Every day will bring new challenges to our life. New challenges, new problems. Nobody is there without problems and challenges. A child going to the school, old person sitting at home, everybody, whole range has got problems. If you don't want to have any problem, well, we had to be dead. As long as we are in the body, we will have problems. That's a funny story. A person went to the real estate agent and said, I would like to buy a house in a very quiet place. So the agent took to some quiet suburb and showed, I don't want quieter place. Few times the agent took to different places. The person was not happy. Want a quieter place. At last the agent took the person to a cemetery. This is the quietest place. So we have to have some quietness within us. We cannot expect other people to be quiet. If we are quiet, if we are serene, if we are peaceful, nothing can disturb us. There may be big music going on next door, but you won't be disturbed. In the life of Holy Mother is an interesting thing. Holy Mother was living in Udbodhan in Calcutta, upstairs. Swami Sharadananda was downstairs, General Secretary. He is writing. He is busy. He is General Secretary of the whole organization. writing the book, Sri Ramakrishna, the Great Master, the Life of Sri Ramakrishna in Bengali, and meeting devotees. Even he has to go to sometimes the lawyer, to the court, because some revolutionaries, ex-revolutionaries has joined the order. So he has to meet the police. So busy he is. And one day, some young monks were laughing and joking and laughing loudly. And Golapma, the companion of Holy Mother, called out to them, "You boys, don't you have any sense? Mother is upstairs, and Sharath, that is Swami Sharadananda, he is next room. He's got so much work to do, and you people are making such a racket. Can't you keep quiet a little?" Then Swami Sharadananda said, "Valapma, why do you bother about them? I have told my mind, don't listen to any noise outside. That's it. Doesn't disturb me. Whatever the sound going on outside, it's not disturbing me. Complete control over the mind and the senses. If that's such a person will have peace, no problem." And another thing is surrender to God. Place everything, all the problems, worries, everything at the feet of God. Everybody has, I said, everybody will have problems. Nobody is there without problem. Place at the feet of God and have the firm faith that with the help of God, I'll be able to face this. Then another idea is count your blessings. You've got a lot of blessings. Nobody is suffering the whole life. We have got, most people have got health or comparatively good health, got food on the table, a roof over our head, clothes to cover the body. Count the blessing. There are so many people, millions of people without this. Don't know what to eat the next, or how to feed the children. They don't have. So count our blessing, then we will have less irritation, disturbance. We will have more peace. And that will be giving positive attitude. And pray for everybody. Pray for the peace of the whole world. There is no peace and happiness in isolation or selfish. Just, I want to be peaceful. I want to be happy. What happens to others, I don't care. No, there can never be happy like that. So we pray for the peace and happiness of the whole world. As we say, may the whole world be happy and peaceful. Thank you.
All our regular activities have recommenced. We have the yoga class every Thursday morning from 10 to 11:15 a.m. Always welcome to attend that. The Friday night discussions have recommenced. We have the next discussion this Friday night is the spiritual evening, led by Gayatriprana from 7:30, and that's for the Zoom people as well from 7:30, and there's silent meditation from 7 to 7:30. Next Sunday, Sri Gayatriprana will be speaking on the goal of human life and its attainment. Following 2 Sundays, we've got, the following Sunday, the 23rd of February, we've got a special celebration, the Shivaratri celebration, and you're invited to bring some sweets or savories to offer, and we'll have a couple of talks. And one thing we've been notified about this week, we've got the very special event coming up, which was going to be on the 16th of March. We're having the Australia's Race Discrimination Commissioner coming. He is caught up that day, he can't come. So we've changed the date. It will now be Sunday, the 18th of May. And I have requested him not to go making us change the date again. So he's promising to come on Sunday, the 18th of May. So keep that in mind. Now we'll conclude with a guided meditation. Just give me a few moments, I'll get set up for that.